Chair Sean Flowerday. With me is Vice Chair and Commissioner Rick Vest, as well as Commissioner Roma Amundsen, Commissioner Deb Shore, and Commissioner Krista Yoakum. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, please begin.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of our material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approve the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020.
I move approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore.
Yes.
Amundsen.
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Vest.
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners special budget meeting held on Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020.
Move approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Amundsen.
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 2 are claims. Approval of all claims processed through June 23rd, 2020.
I move approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Vest.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Amundsen.
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next are special presentations. The first one is recognizing Dean Wegger, recipient of the 2020 Nebraska Association of County Officials Scholarship. Larry Dix, NACO Executive Director.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's move down to item B. We'll come back to A.
Next is recognizing Ken Schroeder, Lancaster County Surveyor, for 32 years of service to Lancaster County. Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. Ken, did you want to come up?
Whether you want to or not, you're coming. So just get in the spirit of the thing.
He's familiar with going along with these requests. Ken Schroeder started at Lancaster County Engineering Department on Monday, April 11th, 1988, as a survey party chief. I believe it is highly likely that he told his wife he was going to take a pay cut so that he could work less hours and spend more time with his young family at the time. I'm also sure that he did not work less. That's probably true, isn't it?
Probably true.
Yeah. In fact, Mr. Schroeder likely gave back the county more vacation and more sick time than he ever took. I am sure he worked more Saturdays than he stayed at home. Prior to joining the Lancaster County Engineering Office, Mr. Schroeder worked with Bates & Associates, Olson & Associates, and Gilmore & Associates. He's a registered land surveyor in the state of Nebraska. He's a member of the Professional Surveyors Association of Nebraska and a graduate of Southeast Community College. When I was appointed county engineer in 2013, I brought a lot of new ideas and new ways of doing things to the county engineer's office. One of the first things I decided was to decline full-time use of a county truck. I then told Ken that we were going to share a truck. Needless to say, he may have been less than thrilled at this first decision. I'm pretty sure that Ken details his truck every weekend. And well, I treat my vehicle more like a really big purse. I have never had to put gas in that truck, by the way. And when I go when we schedule use of the truck and I get the keys, Ken always states to me, Pam, remember the rules of the truck. No booze, no boys. I've kept with those rules.
I think so.
It's true. Ken, during my tenure at County Engineer's Office, has never uttered a swear word. And we do have some rather intense moments in county engineering, so I appreciate that. During his tenure as county engineer, he saw numerous things like the creation and implementation of a GIS system, one of the best, most accurate GIS systems in our country, and it still is today. In addition to that, he and his staff oversaw online access of all of our surveying. And who would have known that that would have been such an important thing to happen during COVID when we're socially distancing, that this data can all be viewed and researched through our internet. In addition to that, Ken has been tirelessly dedicated to the quality of our survey. And we are really known by surveyors across the state as having the best, most accurate public survey information. And that did not happen overnight. I'm gonna miss Ken. He may not miss me. and my constant drive for change and modernization of the department. But I have appreciated his vast knowledge of the county and the vast knowledge of county engineering. When Ken retires, I'm sure that he'll have time to spend more time to spend with his wife, Deb. He also has 2 sons and 7 grandchildren.
Yep.
They've been adding a lot. So, Ken, for all your dedication to the county, it always feels somewhat empty to say, "Wow, I have this plaque for you." Somehow, and it has dirt on it, and so I guess it is from county engineering, right? And I want to thank you for your years of service.
Well, thank you.
But also like to note that we're trying to be socially distanced this morning, but the surveying staff is in the back of the room over here, and they have been an integral part of Ken's team, and so I felt it was important that they come this morning too. Did you want to say a few words?
The time went fast and the people were good to work with. It was easier than you think when you have a lot of good people. So I appreciate it.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your years of service. I will miss your colorful maps. Very precise handwriting. Thank you for teaching me to read plat maps and what little I know about surveying things from you. But most importantly, I appreciate how you treated your constituents. There is always questions, inquiries, concerns. They can be passionate. And your ability to calmly explain the situation, and the residents always left with a good feeling after talking with you. So it speaks a lot to your character and your knowledge, and I will miss you greatly.
Thank you.
And I would just like to echo what Deb has said. You know, you've just provided wonderful years of service, and you serve very faithfully, and you serve diligently, and you have done a marvelous job for the county. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've done incredible work, and you've made this community a safer place to live.
Absolutely.
I've enjoyed it, and again, it's went really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Thanks again.
All the
Flies
best.
when you're having fun.
All the best, Ken.
thank you.
Thank you.
Larry is on his way, so if we,
He's right here.
oh, there he is. Boy, you made it here quickly. Okay.
Well, come on down, Larry. Let's do item number A, or item number A. Yeah, you heard me.
Item letter.
Yeah, I'm sticking with it. I'm saying
If the Romans can do it. we
Well,
can do
good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Larry Dix. I'm Executive Director of the Nebraska Association of County Officials. And today, I'm here, I have the honor to present a Lancaster County employee's child with a scholarship from the Nebraska Association of County Officials. Every year, the NACO board goes through a process to allow our association to present scholarships to children of employees across the state. There's an application process, and each year for probably the last 10 years, we've awarded 12 $1,000 scholarships. And over those years, it's always been my pleasure to be able to present when they recipient is from Lancaster County. And Lancaster County had quite a run there for a number of years. And then I think last year
We missed.
we missed, and now we're right back in the groove again. And so today I'm here to present scholarship to Dean Wiegert. And I don't know if Dean is
Yep, Dean's here,
is
Carrie's here.
Great, great. And so
Come on up, Carrie.
come on. Yes, definitely. So with that, Dean, this is a $1,000 scholarship on behalf of our association. And my understanding is you're going to enroll at Wesleyan?
Yep.
So once we get the criteria that you're in and all that, we'll get you the money. We know you're going to put it to great use. And so congratulations to you and to your mom. And thank you for being here. Appreciate it. You got to be awful proud of this guy. Great. So Dean, that is for you. Ask a few questions or anything?
Right. Tell us a little about your career plans and school plans. and a
I'm
little bit
going to
about-
Nebraska Wesleyan this fall, and I'm going to plan on majoring in special education. So
Good.
Does
It's
Mom-
incredibly noble.
Yeah, does Mom have anything she wants to add at this time?
Just grateful for NACO and his selection, and just grateful that he is who he is. He's a stand-up kid, and his dad and I are very proud of him, and the rest of the family. And I'd like to thank Sue Eckley, and Doug's not here. Doug's here for hiring me, so he has this opportunity. And thank the board as well for keeping me here.
Are you going to get involved in any sports, or?
no, I'll probably do like clubs and everything,
Uh-huh,
but
uh-huh. What are some of the clubs that you might be interested in?
probably just sport clubs. I haven't really looked at any of the clubs at Wesleyan that they offer,
okay.
so
Well, it's an excellent school.
Yeah.
And good luck and
thank you.
everything.
You have a very impressive high school resume, and I know those skills and talents will carry you far as you begin your collegiate career.
Thank you. And thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Oh.
Nice.
Hold that up again, Sue. They might be able to get you on camera. Hold it up. Oh, there. Now you gotta go. Now you gotta go.
Okay.
Next is recognizing Carrie Egan, Chief Administrative Officer for 31 years of service to Lancaster County.
Mayor, if you want to come down, yeah.
Carrie, after working together for almost 20 years, it's kind of sad to see this day come. In your time as Lancaster County's Chief Administrative Officer, you've worked with dozens of county board members and elected officials and dozens of department directors. You joke that you were well trained for this role during your days on the Stanford football team as a kickoff returner, because it trained you to have a lot of things coming at you at one time while continuing to move forward towards the goal. Your encyclopedic knowledge of Nebraska state statutes, legislative history, and court legal opinions is impressive and invaluable. We know you're an avid cyclist, riding your bike to and from work each day and traveling around the Midwest to competitive cycle events. You're also a crazy downhill skier and an amateur photographer. We've got a few special guests here today to share in this moment of celebration. So at this time, I'll ask the mayor to step forward.
Good morning. Thank you so much for allowing me to join in on the celebration of Carrie Egan, someone I was lucky enough to work with while I was on the council and part of the Joint Budget Committee. I know how hard he works, how dedicated he is, and how he kind of flies under the radar as he does his work day in and day out all these years. And yeah, it is kind of symbolized by the way you take a spin class. I've managed to take a few spin classes with Carrie as well. And while the rest of us are taking water breaks and trying to keep up, he is leading the pack, literally. spinning at the highest levels and putting us all to shame. But today we celebrate you and wanted to offer a special proclamation. And here we go. Whereas Carrie Egan was hired by Lancaster County on October 16th, 1989, and over the next 31 years, he facilitated an estimated 1,612 staff meetings and attended more than 1,600 county board meetings. And whereas Carrie has served diligently as chairperson of the Lancaster County Pension Review Committee and has been a faithful steward of the retirement funds for all county employees, and whereas Carrie provided invaluable guidance and leadership to Lancaster County on numerous major projects, including the construction of the Lancaster County Adult Correctional Facility, and whereas Carrie promoted the city and county through his vital leadership role with the Visitor Promotion Committee, and whereas Carrie has successfully guided Lancaster County with his extensive knowledge of Nebraska state statutes and his ability to create strong legislative proposals, and whereas Carrie was awarded the Nebraska Association of County Officials President's Award in 2019 in recognition of his remarkable career, and whereas as part of Carrie's work on the Joint Budget Committee, he was instrumental in establishing an endowment with Keno funds to ensure that services would always remain available to our most vulnerable community members. And whereas Carrie's calm, knowledgeable, and insightful views will be missed by his colleagues and friends, yet we do all wish him the best as he enjoys his retirement with Deb. Now, therefore, I, Lyrian Gaylord Baird, Mayor of the City of Lincoln, Nebraska, do hereby proclaim June 30th, 2020 as Carrie Egan Day to recognize Carrie for his many years of excellent service to Lancaster County and to our entire community. Thank you so much, Carrie.
Before Kerry begins his remarks, we've got a couple of former commissioners here that would like to say a few words. We'll start with Ray Stevens, a longtime friend of yours, even before county board days.
Thank you, Deb. I came here to recognize Carrie Egan. I almost didn't behind the mask. But this is my friend Carrie Egan. We go back, I can't tell you how far. I'd say at least 30 years. Carrie was responsible for seeing that I was appointed to the County Personnel Policy Board at one time. And from there, he suggested that I apply for an opening on the county board. And I was appointed to the county board in June of 2001, thanks to the three-member committee who elected, at that time, a county commissioner to fill a vacancy. That was Gary, Dick, and Dan. So I want to thank them for allowing me the opportunity to serve as a county commissioner. And now as Carrie leaves the rat race, I want to welcome him to the group of former rats who are around the community. And now he'll have free time. He can take up new hobbies. Perhaps he'll learn to ski, at least in earnest. A close friend of ours sent an email that he could not be here today, but he did want me to give you his business card.
Thank you. I knew this was coming.
Thank you for your years of service, Carrie.
Thank you, Rick.
Also, we have former Commissioner Bernie Heyer here, who always has a few words to say.
E-man. Hey. I shake hands. Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Thank you for your service to the county. I certainly appreciate it very much, even though I moved into the city. I don't have a lot to say to Carrie or about Carrie, except whenever we had a question, we always went to Carrie. Carrie never showed bias, I don't think, in my 14 years as serving as commissioner. He was always fair, truthful, and secretive. And Carrie, I'd like to know who the hell bought Christmas lunch.
Tim Wallenstein's
The
job.
question for 14 years, I've never had an answer. Oh, and Deb, do you have the answer?
No, I do not have the answer. It's still a mystery.
I want to congratulate you, Carrie. Have a great time. Retirement's good. Money's not good, but retirement is good. Congratulations.
Carrie, you were the first stop for every candidate. You were the first stop for every newly elected county board member, every newly elected department director, or elected official, every department director, because you had the knowledge and you were willing to share and teach and learn and educate. And you and I have worked closely together, like I said, almost for 20 years. We've had our differences, but have always come back together for what's best for the county. So as you leave us on Thursday, we want to send you away with a small departing gift. And it's not a plaque or a clock. So please open it.
It's a nice ribbon. Well, thank you. I won't have an excuse for being home late anymore.
The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Deb, and thank you, Mayor, and Ray, and Bernie. I appreciate the kind remarks. I was hoping to see Kathy Campbell here, who was one of the first commissioners I worked with. And somebody has to be your favorite. Sorry, guys. Kathy was my favorite by a long shot.
And she wishes she could be here, but she has grandchildren in town this week. So.
It's nice to be recognized, especially because I've always considered my job to be a support role. But what I would like to do is recognize some of the great people that I've worked with at the county over the years. Start off in the county attorney's office, of course. I want to first thank Chief Justice Michael Hevekin for giving me a chance in 1989. I had 3 great years at the county attorney. I learned a tremendous amount. I worked for Gary Lacey, who was a great boss, and he was a tireless advocate for victims' rights, especially the rights of children. May Gary rest in peace. I need to specifically mention Mike Thu and Doug Sear at the county attorney's office. I've worked with a lot of attorneys, Utah, Nebraska, at all levels, appellate level, trial court attorneys, you name it, I've worked with them. Mike and Doug are 2 of the best attorneys I have ever worked with in my life. I'm grateful for their guidance and their friendship. Of course, for the past 27 years, I've held the position of Chief Administrative Officer. 21 different commissioners have served on the county board during that time. I thank each and every one of you for your service, and it has been my honor and privilege to assist you in the discharge of your statutory and elected official duties to the citizens of Lancaster County. Thank you very much. It is all about the board. I want to give a special thanks to the county board staff that I've worked with, starting with Bev Taylor, Corey, Gwen, Minette, our old budget and fiscal officer, Dave Croker. I'd also like to thank all the directors, elected officials, and employees like Ken Schroeder that I've worked with the county over the past 30-plus years. I remember when Dave Croker was retiring, and we thought, oh gosh, what are we going to do? We're lost. And then we hired this guy named Dennis, and within 2 weeks, people were saying, now who's this Croker guy? So we're all replaceable, certainly. I know that I'm leaving at a time when the county board is in very good hands. David is going to be spectacular in this role. I think you've made, if I had handpicked a candidate, it would have been David. Anne is truly wonderful to work with. This is a remarkable team. You got Dennis and Danielle. You guys are in really, really, really good hands. I can't emphasize that enough. And I don't do this usually. And of course, the best thanks of all goes to my wife, Deborah. She's been a loving and supporting life partner. And I look forward to our retirement together and teaching the grandkids how to ski fast and mountain bike with reckless abandon. Some on the coast, some on the West Coast, one in Texas. And I've got my work cut out for me. So in the short run, I hope to learn the names of all the Colorado wildflowers, and the long-term goal is to break the 1-hour time trial record for centenarians. I can't miss. I've got 35 years to train, so I'm sure that record will fall. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, members of the board.
I just want to say, Carrie, you have given this community nearly 30 years of yeoman's service. You were one of the primary players guiding our community through the last 3 decades, and you frankly brought us to a really good place. Our community is far, far better for your service. We are all in your debt, and just thank you. Just thank you for what you've done over the years.
Well, I appreciate you. I'd forgotten about a lot of those things, so thanks, Mayor.
Right. Now you got a list.
Good reminder.
Yeah. And Carrie, congratulations on your retirement. You've served well and faithfully, diligently over the last 31 years, and that is very much appreciated. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Carrie, for all you've done in my short relationship with you. I know you've got 30 years, but I've only known you for a short time, but I've deeply appreciated your insights and your concern for the betterment of Lancaster County as a whole. It's just been very, very encouraging to work with you. And those grandkids better get ready for some adventure, I would say.
I remember several years ago, I came before the commission, before I was a commissioner, and needed someone to take a picture of the group. And this is a testament to Carrie just pitching in and doing what needs to be done. I said, here, Carrie, take a picture of us. And you did, and I appreciate that. And I have certainly appreciated, as a newer commissioner, all of your guidance and your support there. So thank you, and enjoy your retirement. I hope I still see you around at the galleries and that sort of thing. So.
And we mustn't forget, Deb, thank you so very much for your support of
Yes.
Carrie.
Absolutely.
You know, because there's been a lot of times when he's been home late and when he's been gone and so forth, and understand that for every successful man, there's often a woman behind him.
That's what my wife says.
That's the reverse. There's a man behind the successful woman in this case.
Oh, okay.
That is true. That is true.
She's the artist, and she's the elected official of the Nebraska, or the Natural Resources District, South Platte.
There you go. Very
Well, you
good.
support each other.
21 commissioners. He's liked nearly 10 of us. 1,600 meetings. I just can't get over that.
Yeah.
That's just been running. Yeah,
You lose track after
I'm
a while.
sure.
After the first 1,000.
Okay.
Thank you again, Carrie. Mr. Clerk, I think we can move on to the consent items.
Next is number 4, consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved as one with a single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are approval of utility permits with no cost to the county for the following. Number 1994, allowing Windstream to place new fiber optic line in east right-of-way of South 54th Street, starting at Hickman Road, then going south for 1/2 mile. Number 1995, allowing Windstream to reinstall communication line on Roca Road, east of South 96th Street, due to the removal and replacement of county structure S-179. Grant contracts with the following funded by the Joint Budget Committee. Asian Community and Cultural Center for the Family Resource Program in the amount of $10,350. Center Point for the Community Support Outpatient Counseling and Medication Management Program in the amount of $251,284. Community Action Partnership of Lancaster and Saunders Counties for the Basic Emergency Needs Program in the amount of $167,000. El Central de Las Americas for the Financial Grants Manager Program in the amount of $15,000. Good Neighbor Community Center for the Basic and Emergency Needs and Food Distribution Program in the amount of $90,350. Lutheran Family Services for the Health 360 Program in the amount of $30,000. People City Mission for the Family and Women's Shelter Program in the amount of $78,000. Grant contracts with the following funded by the Juvenile Justice Prevention Funds: Asian Community and Cultural Center for the Uzeri Youth Club Program in the amount of $20,000. Boys and Girls Club of Lincoln, Lancaster County for the Keystone Leadership Program in the amount of $10,000. The Salvation Army for the Sudanese Advocacy Program in the amount of $30,000. The Salvation Army for the Teen Night Program in the amount of $10,000. The Yazida for the Yazidi Summer Youth Program in the amount of $6,500. YWCA Lincoln for the Girls Circle Program in the amount of $15,000. YWCA Lincoln for the Project Restore Family Support Program in the amount of $5,000. Hope Spoke for the Outpatient Program in the amount of $51,750. The Hub Central Access Point for Young Adults for the Volunteer and Employment Coordination Program in an amount of $6,852. Grant contract with Family Violence Council for the Coordinated Response to Reducing Domestic Violence Program funded by the Violence Against Women Act in the amount of $11,000. Grant contracts with the following funded by the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Juvenile Services Aid Grant. This is Youth Services for the 5-0 Fund Club Program and of $21,268. Cedars Youth Services for the Crisis Stabilization Program in the amount of $50,000. Cedars Youth Services for the Reporting Center Program in the amount of $4,995. El Centro de Las Americas for the Joven Noble Latina Leaders Program in the amount of $90,372.98. The Hub Central Access Point for Young Adults for the Volunteer and Employment Coordination Program and in the amount of $30,417. Amendments to the following county contracts: C-18-424 with Fastenal Company for facilities maintenance and repair and operations and industrial supplies. C-18-468 with Data Shield Corporation for on-site secure document shredding. C-20-1 with Bauer Underground for an overrun of $16,349.27 for Project 19-22. This is for at Northwest 84th Street, paving O to I-80.
I will move approval of the consent items.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is number 5, new business. 5A is reappointment of Jim Chada to the Lancaster County Veteran Service Committee for a term from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2025.
Good morning, I'm Rick Ringling, I'm the County Veteran Service Officer. Today I'm accompanied by Jim Chada, who's asking to be reappointed to our Veteran Service Committee. The Veteran Service Committee is made up of 5 wartime veterans who volunteered their time and effort to oversee the operations of the County Veteran Service Office. We meet quarterly. We didn't meet in April because of the pandemic, but we'll meet again now coming up on the 14th of July. I'd like to present Mr. Jim Chada.
Hey, Jim.
Good day.
Yeah.
You know, I was I grew up north of Schuyler on a farm, came to university in Lincoln in 1962 and have stayed here ever since, except for a short time when I got inducted into the U.S. Army after my first year in law school. Went to Vietnam. It's 51 years ago on July 9th that I was shot and wounded, and a lot of my friends were killed. And as I'm laying there in that rice paddy, thinking about life and how short it is sometimes, I was happy to get back. And I'm very happy to be here. I'm happy to help any way I can with veterans on the Governor's Advisory Commission. I'm the chairman of the Veterans Home Board. And I'm really happy with what you've done with the Veterans Treatment Court in Lancaster County, and I'm very proud of what they do. And and how we've helped so many veterans in many different ways. So Rick does a great job running the operation, and I appreciate your support of his people, and I want to thank you for allowing me to do this for another few years. Thank you.
And I'm just going to step up and thank Jim for all he's done for all the veterans in this community. Rick, I think you're a good guy here. And just all the help that Jim has given us in our Veterans Court. So
Thanks,
I want to
Pat.
thank Jim for that.
Appreciate you coming.
Jim, how long have you served on this commission?
I've probably been on this for about 20 years, I guess.
Kind of what I thought, so.
Has it been more than that?
You were on the committee when I got hired in January of '96, so.
Time flies pretty fast.
Well,
Anyway, I like what I do, and I appreciate your
Well,
help.
thank you so very, very much for your service to veterans. I mean, with your service, you know, in Vietnam and so forth, you certainly understand the issues that are facing people coming back. And, you know, a lot of people don't have the experiences. And so it's vitally, excuse me, it's necessary that we have a spokesperson. And you are that individual who goes forward and tells the story. And that is so appreciated, and you are a tireless worker, you know. And as a retired general, I want to thank you for your good and faithful service to the nation, to the state, and to the constituents.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I think, could we have a round of applause?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We actually don't have a motion.
Oh, I will move approval with enthusiasm.
Second.
We have an enthusiastic motion and second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
An enthusiastic yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Jim. Rick.
B is a contract with NMC Inc. to provide electric generator maintenance and repair. The term of the contract is upon execution through May 13, 2021. The pricing will be pursuant to the City of Lincoln's contract. The cost of county is not to exceed $5,000.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. C is a contract with Bauer Underground, Inc. for the replacement of County Bridge S-179. The work is to be completed within 42 working days upon notice to proceed by the county. The cost of the county is $497,763.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. So Bridge S-179 is one of the structures that was closed during the flooding of 2019. It does take about 18 months to get these bridges designed and permitted and let for construction. And so we're right at about that. This one is actually a very complex bridge because it is the backwater to one of the dams in our county. And so we also have to certify that we are not impeding the volume of the floodwaters through the structure. So we're excited to have all the permits for S-179 and have the contract, and so we do expect to be able to be ready to roll on that shortly.
You know, I actually have to confess, I don't know all the bridges by their S-179. Where is this located?
It actually is on Roca Road, just a smidge west of South 96th Street.
Okay, okay.
I can't tell you how important this road and bridge are to the southwest residents of Lancaster County, and they will be thrilled to see construction start.
And it is an important travel way, especially with the construction of the Beltway, so it's going to be good to get this open.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. D is a contract with Constructors, Inc. for asphalt paving and resurfacing 2020 on South 82nd Street, grading from Hickman Road to Roca Road. The work shall be commenced on August 15, 2020, or upon notice to proceed by the county, and shall be completed on October 15, 2020. The project will be considered a 30-day 30 working day project. The cost of county is $622,470.15.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. As I've often said, there's nothing as awesome as a smooth, new asphalt road. And so this is overlaying the road. This will really make that South 82nd Street stretch, once we get the new pavement in and we get this road overlaid, it's really going to be an awesome stretch of pavement for the citizens of Lancaster County. So we're really excited to have the opportunity to go on this.
Very good.
I move approval.
Oh, second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. E is a contract with Highway Improvement Inc. for crack sealing bituminous surfacing 2020. The work shall commence on September 16, 2020, or upon notice to proceed by the county, and shall be completed on or before November 1st, 2020. The project will be considered a 46 calendar day project. The cost of the county is $266,000.
Pam Damon, Lancaster County Engineer. This is our annual crack sealing project. What we're really striving to do is maintain the assets that we have so that we hopefully can extend the life of these asphalt slabs and our roads. And so with the passing of this, this I believe will be near the last, it is June 30th, near the last of our construction program for the current year. And so I've often joked that this year has been twice the effort for half the progress, but I do want to thank my staff as they dispersed for continuing to get out the program, and also Jennifer Holloway from the County Attorney's Office for the coordination of all of those contracts, which has not been easy during this time. Thank you.
I will move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I would ask Pam where we're doing the sealing process this year. I know last year we were out on 148th Street. Where are we at this year?
Well, the true answer would be wherever we have cracks in the asphalt, which then the second answer would be that's almost everywhere. And so this is one of the larger crack sealing contracts we've done during my tenure. We're really trying to get these slabs sealed up. And so we will be doing crack sealing really wherever we're not doing an overlay.
Okay, I got you.
So-
Overlay versus crack sealing.
Right,
Got
so
it.
it's just there's a multi-stage, just like the bridges, and I've talked about that we now have this bridge program where we have several different types of maintenance programs we're doing. We have crack sealing, and we have asphalt overlay, and some other things that we're doing to preserve our asphalt. And so this is just one component of our asphalt maintenance.
Thank you for that.
Move approval.
We already have a motion.
Oh,
We've got a motion, we've got a second. And is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. F is a special event permit application from Dave Milnerick, Nebraska Sports Council for the Cornhusker State Games Cycling Tour event on July 26, 2020.
Move approval?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. G is a special designated license application from Ken's Liquor, Inc. for an event at Hillside Event Center at 12,400 West Denton Road on August 22nd, 2020.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. H is a resolution in a matter of transferring appropriations from the general fund miscellaneous budget to the general fund public defender and election commissioner budgets. The amount to be transferred is $40,750.
All right, good morning. Dennis Meyer, Budget and Fiscal Director. This should be the last resolution dealing with this current fiscal year. And it's probably just because it's the last day of our fiscal year.
I was going to say, it really ought to be, actually. We're in some
So
trouble if we're not.
usually we don't like to run it this close, but luckily I guess the 30th landed on a Tuesday. So so this is really cleaning up the election commissioner's budget and the public defenders. So once we make that transfer, we should have everybody within their allowable budget for the current fiscal year. So this is just the last cleanup item, and then you'll see me on Thursday and we'll start talking more about the next year's budget. So, questions?
I will move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Items I and J will hold until after the public hearings. Number 6 of the public hearings. 6A is change of zone 20014 AG agricultural to AGR agricultural residential on 7.5.9 acres located at 13350 North 84th Street, Lancaster County, Nebraska.
Steve Hendrickson at the Planning Department.
Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Just basically noting for the record that we had provided a copy of the zoning regulations for the county today to the county clerk. Previously made a presentation on this to the county board, so we didn't plan on any additional comments today.
Is there anyone else present looking to speak on the change of zone application? I'm not seeing any. We don't have anybody in the other room or anything? I don't want to cut anybody off if we do. Okay.
And just for clarification, the applicant was notified of today's hearing, as well as notified that there was a denial from the Planning Commission.
Correct. And I should note, after I talked with Raymond and Janet Standard after the Planning Commission meeting. At the time, they expressed they weren't certain if they were going to come. I certainly encouraged them that they could come, they could address you, but all of their comments and their letters would be forwarded to you and be a part of the record.
Okay. And Steve, I appreciate your work here this morning, but just so we put it on the record this morning as well, this has been denied by the public or the Planning Commission, and the reason for that we have some well-established reasons.
Correct. It's mostly that it's not shown in the comprehensive plan for low-density residential. Almost all of this area surrounding it is shown as agricultural. It's a very small spot of zoning that would be inconsistent with what is shown around it. It's on 2 roads that are not paved. While certainly a small 7-acre property is not going to have a huge impact, it is partly, are we trying to establish a pattern of AGR here, and it's not really a good spot given concerns in the general sense about water, the lack of paved roads, and the fact that we don't really have any other land designated to the north, to the west, or to the east for AGR in this area. So for all of those reasons that were stated in the staff report, we had recommended denial, and the Planning Commission had recommended denial as well.
Yeah, and even if we did decide to violate all those reasons, we'd just be opening ourselves up. Then we would have no grounds for future denial.
Yes, it would be a precedent that there are many other properties similar to this in the county, or people wanting to split off a small parcel, and so you really would be opening up a quite larger precedent.
And as valid as the standards case is, it just would not work well to make an exception at this point.
And there are reasons for wanting to have a family member live nearby. We pointed out to them there are other options if this one is turned down.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you did say there were a couple ways they could
and so
proceed.
we'll certainly work with them if they wanted to pursue some of those other options.
Thank you for that.
Very good. Well, with that, then, I will go ahead and close the public hearing on change of zone 214. And let's move to the correlating item.
This is 5I, a resolution in a matter of change of zone 20014 AG Agricultural to AG R Agricultural Residential on 7.59 acres located at 13350 North 84th Street, Lancaster County, Nebraska.
I move that we deny the change of zone.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for denial. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
I'm going to vote yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is 6B. This is amusement license application from Jerry McCabe, Sleepy Bees Lavender Farm, LLC, for outdoor events on July 11th, on July 11th, 18th, and 25th, 2020, and August 1st and 8th, 2020, at Sleepy Bee Lavender Farm, 25700 South 38th Street, Firth, Nebraska.
And I'm sorry, can anyone refresh my memory? I know he came before us and spoke, and then they were going to change up their plan a little bit, and this looks somewhat different from what I remember. Does anyone remember the precise differences between this and the last one? Sorry to drag you up here, Jen.
You're fine. He was up here, and I believe he wanted to do a whole bunch of tours he wanted to have an event, and then we switched it up to him doing the tours on separate days. And he's going to follow whatever the gathering limit is, he'll follow that for the tours. That way it would work better for him.
The first one had like food trucks and maybe some music, and it was just,
People were gonna
500 was the number it was thrown out at one time. So this way he's spreading his lavender fans. I
Yep,
guess,
instead
over-
of one big
Right.
event, he's just doing a bunch of smaller tours throughout the day, and I'll have people sign up in advance and get tickets and stuff.
Sounds good.
Good solution not to lose the whole season for them.
Yep. Okay, is there anyone here to speak on this public hearing item? Seeing no one, I believe no one's in the other room, we will go ahead and close the public hearing on the amusement license application and move to the correlating item.
5J is an amusement license application from Jerry McCabe, Sleepy Bee Lavender Farm, LLC.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is number 7, update on COVID-19 and Lancaster County response.
Does anyone have anything to contribute about Lancaster County's response to COVID-19? I do not at the moment.
The only thing I'd say is on a very broad basis, I saw a headline this week that the European Union is opening its borders and allowing people to move back and forth, but they are continuing their ban on visitors from the United States because in some areas we haven't responded as well as we might have. So to all those who are working so diligently in our county to keep those numbers going in the direction that we want, I just want to express my appreciation. And that means everybody who wears a mask when they go to the store or does appropriate social distancing. It's the efforts of all of us working together that have allowed our county to be successful during this time, because it's not happening everywhere.
Yeah, our community, I would say, has both been lucky and good. You know, we've made some right choices early on. We've stuck with them, and we also have been generally pretty fortunate. It's no time to give up now.
I would just say that when we had the outbreaks, and they've been well documented where some of the sources of the outbreaks were, we responded well. I mean, we responded in a way that didn't just say, well, here we go, it's inevitable. Yeah. We stopped that. I'm really feel good about all of our citizens and all of our officials' responses.
And we must not forget the work that the Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department did. that was yeoman's work.
And it's still in front of us.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
to Sean's point, let's stay the course here.
Yep. So, okay. Anything else on item number 7? I think we can move to public comment.
Number 8 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Seeing no members of the public present, let's move down to announcements.
Next is announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, July 2nd, 2020 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, July 7th, 2020 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building, with the Board of Equalization immediately following. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commission@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on Link TV City. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on Link TV and can be viewed on YouTube.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
we are adjourned.